Video games, a necessity for gracious living. However, as amazing as these experiences are, the cost of gaming has been rapidly on the rise. Modern releases are becoming increasingly expensive, and the price of many retro games are soaring to all new highs. However, fear not, as I know where to get you some amazing titles that deliver hundreds of hours of entertainment for pennies. The cost of living has gone crazy, so if you feel the same way as I do about spending wisely, then please take some time to sit back and relax, because I have collated a list of bloody brilliant JRPGs, each of which costs under $10, thus meaning that if you like, you could theoretically purchase every title I spotlight today for less than one new PlayStation 5 game. I am Lady Decade, and these are unmissable Japanese role-playing games for next to nothing. Recently on this channel, I talked about my love for the first Ni no Kuni game, but what I failed to mention is that its sequel Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom has just as firm a place in my heart. While its beloved predecessor features a sort of turn-based battle system, Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom switches gears and offers up a more action-orientated battle experience, resulting in a video game that mechanically is very different, but every bit as charming, immersive and addictive as the adventure that came before it. Developed by Level 5 and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment, this critically acclaimed 2018 title is unforgettable for a number of reasons, including the fantastic character design by Yoshiyuki Momose and the amazing musical score composed by Joe Hisaishi, both of whom are notable for their work with Studio Ghibli. Currently available to play on all modern platforms, the story follows Evan Petty-Whisker Tildrum, a young king who is usurped from his throne in the kingdom of Ding Dong Dell. Evan is forced to flee his kingdom but vows to build a new one where everyone can live happily ever after. Accompanied by a man named Roland, who mysteriously appears from another world reflecting our own, and a pirate named Tani, Evan sets out on a journey to establish a new kingdom, unite the world's peoples, and protect them from impending evil. The narrative explores themes of leadership, friendship, and the quest for peace in a fantastical world. Featuring that beautiful Ghibli style, everything about this game looks breathtakingly stunning. But it's the game's epic story and action-based gameplay that will make you desperate to keep coming back to this. Players control Evan and his companions, who can hack and slash away using melee attacks, magic and ranged weapons. The combat system also introduces Hackgu, small creatures that assist in battle by providing support and launching special attacks. Players can recruit these creatures throughout the game, each offering unique abilities that can be strategically utilised to gain an advantage. In another brand new addition to the franchise, a huge significant aspect of the game is the kingdom building feature. As Evan establishes his new kingdom, players manage resources, build structures and recruit citizens, each with specific skills that contribute to the kingdom's development. It gave me a great deal of satisfaction witnessing my kingdom expand, and I for one didn't finish playing this one until I made sure I had built everything there was to be built. If someone put me on the spot and asked me to pick which of the two Ni no Kuni games was the best, I'd genuinely struggle, as each of them is excellent for different reasons, and I've pumped hundreds of hours into both of these games. Fortunately, using my affiliate link, you can currently get an 87% discount on this game, bringing it down to an astonishingly low $8.70. But that's not all. As a bonus offer for you, if you are yet to pick up the original turn-based affair, you can use my link down below to get a ludicrous 89% off, bringing the cost down to just $5.91. If you've played both of these, be sure to let us know which game you prefer. Anyway, let's look at another absolute bargain. Final Fantasy VIII had the impossible task of functioning as the sequel to one of the most beloved and critically acclaimed games of all time. So, how did the follow-up to Final Fantasy VII fare? Well, not bad at all to be honest, as across the board Square would experiment and introduce a number of new features, making this title drastically different from any Final Fantasy game that came before it. Released in 1999 for the PlayStation console, those who experienced this game in its prime will likely be able to remember how amazing this title's graphics looked compared to the original PlayStation games from the period, with it certainly being a huge step up from Final Fantasy VII visually. While the original version of the game now looks rough around the edges, fortunately the modern remastered version of this game makes this title now look better than ever. While considered somewhat controversial for how different this entry was compared to others, the 8th main installment in the Final Fantasy series stands out for its unique gameplay mechanics, compelling narrative, and memorable cast of characters designed and crafted by Tetsuya Nomura. This all helps contribute to the game's distinctive aesthetic. The story revolves around a group of young mercenaries known as Seed who are trained at the military academy Balam Garden. The protagonist, Squall Leonhardt, is a stoic and introverted member of Seed. The game follows Squall and his companions, including Rinoa Hartilli, Zell Dinkt, Selphie, Quistis, and Irving Kinies, as they become embroiled in a conflict against the sorceress Adia, who seeks to control the world. As the plot unfolds, the characters uncover deep truths about their pasts and the nature of the sorceresses, exploring themes of love, fate, and the passage of time, with the central romance between Squall and Rinoa serving as a key focus. Final Fantasy VIII introduced several innovative gameplay mechanics, most notably the junction system. Instead of using traditional equipment and stats, players enhance their characters by junctioning magical spells to various attributes, allowing for a high degree of customization. Magic is not learned or purchased, instead it is drawn from enemies and specific points in the environment, then stocked for use in battles or junctioned to improve stats. The game also features Guardian Forces, basically summons, the powerful creatures that characters can call upon in battle. These are integral to the junction system as they provide access to different abilities and stats bonuses, but that's not all. If a huge JRPG with a massive story and interesting character growth system isn't enough for you, then perhaps the addition of Triple Triad might be enough to sway you. This collectible card game within the game has become so popular among fans that rather than play Final Fantasy VIII to save the world, some players play the game specifically for this diversion, myself included on occasion. It's honestly that addictive and that good. Pair everything that we've discussed with a soundtrack composed by the legendary Nobu Uematsu, including the iconic opening theme Liberi Fatali and the romantic ballad Eyes on Me, performed by Chinese singer Fei Wong, then what's not to love about Final Fantasy VIII? Whether you want to try this for yourself for the first time, give this game a second chance, or simply want to revisit a classic, I can get you 66% off the modern remastered version of this game, bringing the price down to just $7.51. Speaking of remasters, how about remakes? Another bonus title at a great price that I'd like to draw your attention to. Final Fantasy VIII had an incredibly challenging task following up on Final Fantasy VII, as we said earlier, so therefore the idea of making a remake just as memorable as the original was an equally daunting proposition. If you are yet to give the remake a go, all I can say to you is believe the hype, as this game is just as amazing as people say. Functioning as my favourite title of 2020, they've now added a huge Yuffie DLC origin side story that expands the lore of the classic story even further. I can get you 58% off the whole Final Fantasy VII Remake integrated game that includes this extra content. Happy shopping. Tales of Symphonia is an awesome role-playing game developed by Namco Tales Studio and published by Namco. Originally released for the Nintendo GameCube in 2003 in Japan and in 2004 in North America and Europe, back in the day this was one of the finest JRPGs that could be experienced on the Nintendo platform. Now available on seemingly bloody everything and remastered a number of times, there are more ways to enjoy this game than ever before. Set in a vibrant fantasy world called Revenant, players embark on a journey to save a realm that is unfortunately slowly dying as its mana, the source of all life, is being depleted. The story follows a young swordsman named Lloyd Irving and his childhood friend Colette Brunel, who is the chosen of regeneration. The protagonists engage in a quest to awaken the spirits of the elemental summoned spirits and complete a ritual at the Tower of Salvation. As the group travels, they encounter other companions, including the wisecracking genius Kratos Orion, the timid magic user Genius Sage, the energetic martial artist Shina Fujibayashi, and others, each with their own backstory and motivations, adding to the immersion. As the story progresses, the characters soon discover the existence of a parallel world called Tethiela, which is in a precarious balance with Revenant. When one world prospers, the other suffers, creating a moral and existential dilemma for the heroes. The narrative explores themes of sacrifice, coexistence, and the nature of good and evil as the group confronts powerful forces and dark secrets that could alter the fate of both worlds. Notable for its real-time battle system called the Linear Motion Battle System, the awesome battles in this game let us move our characters freely within a 3D battlefield. Amongst the different options, players can perform combos, use special attacks known as arts, and cooperate with AI-controlled allies for strategic combat. The game also features a unique character growth system where players can customize skills and abilities based on the character's experiences and choices. The game received praise for its engaging story, well-developed characters and innovative battle system. Its vibrant art style and anime-inspired graphics, accompanied by a memorable soundtrack composed by Motoi Sakuraba and Shinji Tamura, have made it a beloved title among fans of the Tales series and JRPGs in general. Tales of Symphonia remains a classic in the genre, and I am currently having a lot of fun playing this one myself on my Steam Deck. Use my link to pick up Tales of Symphonia to get a huge 82% discount, reducing the price down to just $3.92. Or if you want to play a more classic Tales game for next to nothing, I've posted a number of other deals on titles from this excellent series for you to take advantage of too. It would still end up pennies if you treated yourself to all of them, so feel free to shop until you drop. As usual with these sorts of videos, I'd like to draw your attention to games that are a little different, and no game fits that description better than .hackgu Last Recode. Rather than just one game, this is a remastered collection of the .hackgu series of action role-playing games that began life on the Sony PlayStation 2 back in the day. Originally developed by CyberConnect 2 and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment, the collection was released in 2017 and is now available to play on multiple modern formats. These titles differ drastically from most others, as the story is set in a fictional MMORPG called The World R2. Yes, that's right, these are single-player games that simulate MMOs. Very quirky indeed. The narrative follows Hassio, a player known as the Terror of Death, who seeks to avenge his friend Shino, who fell into a coma after being attacked by a mysterious player known as Tri-Edge. As Hassio hunts for Tri-Edge, he becomes involved in a deeper conspiracy involving anomalies in the game and real-world consequences, such as unconscious players. The gameplay of .hackgu Last Recode combines action RPG mechanics with exploration, dungeon crawling, and social interactions within the World R2. Controlling Hassio, you can use a variety of weapons and skills in real-time combat. The remastered collection offers updated graphics, improved gameplay mechanics, and new features such as cheat mode, which allows players to experience the story without the need for extensive grinding. The fourth volume, Reconnection, provides an epilogue to the original trilogy, giving closure to the story and characters. The .hackgu series is known for its unique storytelling, blending elements of virtual reality, MMORPG culture, and science fiction. The narrative explores themes of identity, friendship, and the blurred lines between reality and the virtual world. The game's music, composed by Chikeya Fukuda, enhances this immersive adventure with atmospheric tracks that complement the game's various settings and emotional moments. Overall, Hackgu Last Recode serves as both a nostalgic trip for fans of the original series and an accessible entry point for new players. The collection successfully revitalises a cult series with modern enhancements, offering a comprehensive and engaging experience that delves into the intriguing and sometimes unsettling world of these games. There's 95% off the price of .hackgu at the moment, leaving the price at just $2.89. It's a bit of a strange one, but at a price that low, why not jump in and experiment? Final Fantasy III is certainly not a video game that receives the amount of fanfare as, say, 6, 7, 9, 10 or many other games in the series, but that doesn't mean it doesn't deserve your attention. As someone who is a strong believer that there isn't a bad mainline Final Fantasy game in the series, Final Fantasy III is an epic RPG that has fortunately been remade for a whole new generation to enjoy in all its polygonal glory. Originally released in 1990 for the Nintendo Entertainment System, or the Famicom more precisely, exclusively in Japan, this was the third main installment in the Final Fantasy series. The game was notable for introducing several elements that would become staples of the series, such as the now classic job system. The story follows 4 orphaned youths who discover a crystal of light, which grants them powers and tasks them with restoring balance to the world. The protagonists, who start as unnamed characters in the original version, are later given names and personalities in subsequent remakes. The game's narrative revolves around the balance between light and darkness, as the heroes seek to prevent the world from being engulfed by darkness. Along their way, they encounter various allies and enemies, as well as the mysterious villain known as Xande, who seeks to disrupt the balance for his gain. As mentioned, a key feature of Final Fantasy III is the job system, which allows players to assign various classes or jobs to their characters. These jobs range from traditional roles like warrior and white mage to more unique classes like dragoon and summoner. Each job has its own abilities and equipment, and characters can switch jobs throughout the game. This system provides a high level of customization, enabling players to tailor their party to their preferred playstyle and the challenges they face. Another notable aspect of the game that deserves celebrating is the introduction of summons, powerful creatures that characters can call upon in battle to perform devastating attacks or provide support. This memorable trope of the series started here, and summons like Ifrit and Shiva have become iconic elements of the franchise. Despite its initial limited release, Final Fantasy III gained wider recognition through its remakes and ports. It was remade for the Nintendo DS in 2006 with updated 3D graphics, a reimagined story, and fully fleshed out characters. This version was subsequently ported to various platforms, including iOS, Android, PlayStation Portable, and Windows PC. If you want to challenge yourself and take part in one of the earlier Final Fantasy adventures with this fresher coat of paint, then I strongly recommend that you give this one a go. This game can be bought using my link for just $4.95. That's 65% cheaper than elsewhere. Enjoy. After discussing a classic RPG in the form of Final Fantasy III, let's talk about South Park: The Stick of Truth, an awesome comedy homage to this classic era of the genre. Developed by Obsidian Entertainment in collaboration with South Park Digital Studios and published by Ubisoft, The Stick of Truth not only captures the essence of the show, but is a brilliant JRPG to boot. Released in March 2014, the game is of course based on the popular animated television series South Park, created by Trey Parker and Matt Stone. The creators were heavily involved in the game's development, contributing to its script, voice acting, and overall direction, ensuring it closely matched the show's signature humour and style. The game is set in the fictional Colorado town of South Park, where players control a new kid known as the New Kid or Douchebag, who has just moved into town. The player quickly becomes involved in a live-action role-playing game with the neighborhood kids, who are divided into two factions: the humans, led by Wizard King Eric Cartman, and the elves, led by High Jew elf Kyle Broflovsky. The children are competing for control of a powerful artifact known as the Stick of Truth, which grants its wielder absolute power over the universe within the context of their game. As the story unfolds, the player navigates various humorous and absurd scenarios involving everything from aliens and government conspiracies to mythical creatures and Nazi zombies. You know, like your average visit to Facebook. Gameplay in South Park The Stick of Truth is a blend of traditional role-playing mechanics and turn-based combat with a distinct South Park twist. Choosing from 4 character classes, fighter, mage, thief or Jew, the combat system involves selecting various actions such as attacks, magic and items with a timing-based mechanic for executing moves effectively. Outside of combat, players explore the town, complete quests, and interact with various characters, uncovering secrets and collecting items. The game's narrative and side quests are filled with references to the series' history, making it a treat for fans. While the game sparks some controversy due to its mature content and satirical take on sensitive subjects, it has been widely regarded as one of the best adaptations of a television show into a video game, providing an immersive and entertaining experience for both fans of the series and RPG enthusiasts. You can get this one for just $9.53. That's 71% off the full price of the game. Chrono Cross is a role-playing game developed and published by Square, now known as Square Enix, for the PlayStation console. Released in Japan in 1999 and in North America in 2000, the game serves as a spiritual sequel to the beloved Chrono Trigger. Directed by Masato Kato and featuring music composed by Yasunori Mitsuda, both veterans of Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross offers a distinct storyline, setting and characters that set it apart from its predecessor. The narrative of Chrono Cross revolves around a young man named Serge, who finds himself mysteriously transported to a parallel world where he discovers that in this alternate reality, he died as a child. As Serge delves deeper into this strange phenomenon, he becomes embroiled in a complex plot that spans parallel worlds and involves time travel, ultimately questioning the nature of existence itself. Throughout his journey, Serge is joined by a wide array of characters, each with their unique backstories and motivations. One of the central figures is Kid, a spirited thief with a mysterious past intricately tied to Serge's fate. With over 40 playable characters, the game allows for extensive party customization, providing players with numerous strategic options. Chrono Cross is distinguished by its unique battle system, which diverges from traditional turn-based RPG mechanics. The game utilises a stamina-based system where characters expend stamina points to execute actions like attacking, defending or using special abilities known as techs. After each action, characters must recharge their stamina before they can act again. Additionally, the game features an element system wherein players equip characters with magical abilities and items to use in combat. Elements are colour-coded and their strategic use can exploit enemy weaknesses or enable powerful combo attacks. A noteworthy aspect of the gameplay is the field effect system, which alters the potency and effectiveness of elements based on the dominant colours present on the battlefield, adding more depth. Visually, Chrono Cross boasts a vibrant and richly detailed art style, showcasing a diverse range of environments from tropical islands to futuristic ruins. The character designs are equally colourful and varied, reflecting the eclectic cast of the game. The soundtrack, composed by Yasunori Mitsuda, is highly acclaimed and features a blend of traditional and contemporary musical styles, drawing from influences like Celtic music and jazz. The music is integral to the game's emotional tone and atmosphere, with iconic tracks such as Scars of Time and Radical Dreamers standing out. Upon its release, Chrono Cross received critical acclaim for its intricate story, innovative gameplay mechanics, and beautiful music. While it garnered some criticism from fans of Chrono Trigger for its different narrative approach and lack of direct connections to the previous game, it remains a standout title in the RPG genre. The game has developed a cult following over the years, praised for its artistic achievements and exploration of complex themes. Re-released on modern platforms, Chrono Cross continues to captivate new generations of players with its richly crafted world and compelling narrative. It's going to be yours with a 57% discount, leaving it at only $9.34. Or if you have somehow lived under a rock and never played the original Chrono Trigger, I've found a big discount on that game, which I've placed in my pinned comment for you too. Those were some RPGs that cost next to nothing, all of which you can purchase for less than the price of a single PlayStation 5 game. Every purchase made not only gets you a fantastic bargain, but each sale supports this channel in the process, making these deals a huge win for both of us. So happy shopping everyone, and if you're looking for more deals, click on some of my other videos now.